Well, right now I am joined by two of Austria's favorite Olympians, Veronika Aigner and Benjamin Karl. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a round of applause. We wanted to bring you on stage so you could see your incredible introductory video. So Veronika, I want to start with you. And first of all, let me say thank you for doing this interview in English because my German is not very good. Veronika, it's incredible. You are a 6-time Paralympic gold medalist. You just won 4 golds in Milan. You've been a 4-time Paraski world champion. You're visually impaired. You've overcome so many challenges. So where did you learn to never give up?
Yeah, I have the vision impaired since the birth, and I see only 8%. This is not so much for a skier. Normally, a skier sees 100%, but when I was 10 years old, I started in the para-alpine skiing and with my older sister, and this is very good because you must have a very much trust with your guide because you drive with more than 100 km/h as a kilometer per hour, and yeah, this is very fast, and we have many jumps in there. Yeah, we can see a little video from there, and yeah, the most challenge is I cannot drive with the car, and you must much more time when you drive from A to B, and yeah, on the slope you must very much trust to the guide, and yeah, I have a good guide. My guide is my sister, and he can me since the birth, and yeah, the trust must to be 100%, but yeah, I trust my sister only 92% because I see the 8% myself. It's okay.
I hope your sister heard that. She can work to get up to 100%. Just incredible. Benjamin Karl, you're a 4-time Olympian, 2 gold medals. You just won 1 in Milan in the parallel giant slalom. Did you guys see this gold medal he won? It was incredible. And at the time, you were the oldest individual male to win a gold medal. And we were thinking he's 40. It was incredible. Then he whipped off his shirt and showed a 6-pack, which I thought was really rude. But it's incredible, Benjamin. You've overcome so much. Now you're going to be a cyclist. Where do you learn the strength through all these difficult athletic challenges to never give up?
I had several times the chance to learn to never give up, because I want to tell you a story. It was 2008, 2 months in front of one of my big goals I had as a 10-year-old to be world champion. And I broke my leg in December. And my first world championships where I had the chance to take part were on the 20th of January. So I had not too much time to recover. And I was laying in the hospital, and my wife came in, and she was crying. And she said, your dream, and you will never get it to the World Championships. And I said, calm down. I will be world champion in January. And I had the dream. And the dream made so much sense for me that I never gave up. Even when I was laying several weeks before in the hospital, I never gave up. I thought that I can recover that fast, that I can participate at the World Championships, my first ever World Championships. And I got there. And the first day, and the first competition, I got fourth. And fourth, it's really bad in a big event. And the second day, I got world champion. And I had several times where the life told me that never gives up, and to go further always pays off at some time.
Well, you sound like another Austrian, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who talks about having a vision, and that's clearly what you had. Now, I have to apologize. This is a panel for world-renowned athletes, and we actually had someone on stage already who is a world record holder, so we're going to bring her back up here because she belongs. Heather Mills, where are you? Get up here, Heather Mills. Okay, first of all, did you just have a costume change, Heather?
Sorry?
Did you just have a costume change, an outfit change?
No, I just took my jacket off to show you that vegans have protein and biceps.
Well, it's going to be like Madonna. Okay, you people are so fit. So, Heather, I didn't know this. Your activism is well known, but I didn't know you're an incredibly accomplished athlete. You are a 3-time world record holder, the only disabled skier to hold 3 world records. In fact, you had one for speed skiing where I believe you were going 166 kilometers per hour.
Yeah.
Okay, that's over 100 miles an hour for those of you who aren't doing the math in America. That's incredible. You've overcome so much. So for you, where do you see that perseverance that you have in sport? How does that translate into climate action?
Well, it happened by accident. I was actually hiding from the press in the Multalic lecture in Austria. I've had a close relationship with Austria for a long time, from when I worked in the war, clearing mines and coming over the Port-Carène border and through Austria and thinking, wow, it must be amazing to live here. And I have one leg, and so back then, I was 42. I'd skied a couple of times before, so I only knew how to go straight. And I didn't know I was going through Marcel Hirscher's race guns on the Multalic lecture, because they're just tiny little things. So I got told off when I stayed in the Flatakerhof Hotel. You were going too fast. I went, well, I don't know. I can only go straight and stop, straight and stop. And then I said, I only have one leg. And they said, you should be a speed ski racer. I said, I'm 42. But my girlfriend said, go for it. You're having a difficult time in the UK. So I asked the British ski team, can I join? And they just laughed at me, because I wanted to show that at that time, veganism was laughed at, and you could get enough protein, you could be an older person. So it was all connected to education and climate change. Anyway, long story short, I got a wild card, went to New Zealand, won a silver slalom, then went on to get 2 Super Gs, 2 downhills. And about a week before the Sochi Paralympics, I developed a leg for safety, where you could click the binding in, because I was sponsored by Atomic and Uvex. And they stopped me going to Sochi 4 days before. Can you imagine? You know the build-up to get there. Because they said I was cheating with my leg. But then a week later, they passed it as a leg that was safe and should continue for all amputees. So I thought, I'm going to go and do something nobody's done before and join all the men in Vars in France and do the speed skiing. So I did it to make myself feel better about not getting to Sochi, and then I got the Guinness World Record and did it on one leg, but with the prosthetic, against all the men with 2 legs. So it was great.
I always had a saying with skiing, to turn is to admit defeat. You clearly embody that. All right, we only have time for one final question, and ladies and gentlemen, I do believe this is the most important question of the day. Veronika, I'm going to start with you, and we need an honest answer. Who are you supporting in the World Cup?
Yeah, my family. It's the most important from the World Cups, and my boyfriend and my dad.
Oh my God, that's much
my
better.
grandpa.
We were talking football, but I love that you just gave a shout out, not to your sister,
Oh,
to your
sorry.
brother and your dad. What about in football, Veronika? Who are you pulling for there?
I hope Austria.
Austria? I know, we weren't sure. Benjamin, I know this is probably a tough one. Who are you going for?
What was the question?
Who are you pulling for in the Football World Cup?
Really, this is the question?
Well, that's what they wanted to know. People are concerned about the cup, and they know some team is playing early in the morning.
Yeah. What should I say? If one team knows to never give up, then it's the Austrian team.
Austrian team. All right, we were expecting that. Heather, what about you? Who are you supporting?
Well, I'm UK Newcastle supporter. And I went and watched the Arsenal Champion League, and that was quite sad and depressing, but at least they got the Premier League, then my number 2. But of course, England, while they're not competing against Austria, Austria is my adoptive country, so anytime Austria are playing, I'm supporting them. But if it comes to the final, then it's England.
All right, folks, you heard it here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Veronika, Benjamin, Heather, thank you.